How can you turn a crisis into an opportunity to rebuild trust? Welcome to part 2 of our interview with Scott Harvey. Let's try a role play
Okay,
so that the audience can see what's going on.
perfect.
All right. So Scott, let's imagine this. Let's say you are Lucy's manager. You've worked with her for a while now. She's been a good performer for you, really reliable. Unfortunately, your organization's been going through some reorganization and some layoffs. And you originally said you don't think there's going to be any layoffs on our team, on your team, but there is.
hmm
You've had to let go like half the team now. And so now Lucy over the past few weeks has been just really not meeting expectations, really declining, maybe not showing up, more disengaged. And so you're just trying to have that conversation with her, coach her through it, and or
hmm
just figure out what's going on with her.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Hey, Lucy, thank you so much for coming in and meeting with me. I want to be very clear up front before we start. Like, your job is not on the line. Your job is secure here. I want you here. I want to take that off the table now because I want to have an open discussion about how things have been going with you and if there's anything I can do to help. So tell me, I know it's been stressful. I know we've had to make some decisions that nobody loves. And I just want to see how that hits you and how that affects you.
Well, thank you, Scott. It's been really difficult because, we got the messages that we are secure, and then these are the massive layoffs. I see people leaving, and it's creating a lot of stress for me.
I,
And
I'm
also
sure.
here, and lose my coworkers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
more workload for me, and it just creates this extra stress and overwhelm, to be honest.
I can see where that would be frustrating for you. And that was not our intent. Our intent, obviously, is not to frustrate our team members because we do value you. Your contributions to this team are super important. And I just want to see what we can do, what I can do personally. Forget people above me. What can I do to help you, to take some of this off of your plate, to show you how valued you are here? What can I do to help you in this situation, Lucy?
I don't know. There's not too many people to take that work off the plate if there's less of us on the team right now. So I'm not sure. And I still want to perform. I've done my best in the past to perform, and so I want to keep it up. So I really don't know. But thank you for asking.
Well, and that being said, Lucy, and I'm not surprised by this, production across the board has gone down because morale has gone down. And so this isn't something that I'm frustrated with you about. This is something I understand. But it's something in order to rebound and to recover from this so that we can start bringing people back on, we've got to get things back up to where they need to be. And so what do you think we can do to help people feel better, to help people feel like they're valued around here? Because obviously a layoff makes people feel like they're expendable. I understand that and I regret that. But the other option is closing down completely, and that doesn't serve anybody. So what can we do to make the team feel more valued and bring things back to where they were kind of 6 months, a year ago?
Well, you're right. The open communication might be helpful. I wonder if we could talk about it more in the team environment or even
Mhm.
hear from the leaders. There's been a lot of gossip
Okay.
and lots of misinformation. I don't know what to trust, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. And
And so maybe the leader above you will decide one day and they will let us go.
that's scary, isn't it?
It is scary, yeah.
It is. I understand that. And I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can so that if there is another round of layoffs, which I don't think there's going to be, but they're going to look at Lucy and they're going to look at Scott and they're going to look at our team and they're going to say, these people are killing it. These people are last on the list. And so the only way we can do that is to kind of lick our wounds quickly and get back at it as a team. And if I can help you with that in any way, Lucy, that's what I want to do because you and the people that are still here are here because you're valuable team members. And we believe we can take this back to where it was before. If we didn't believe that, we'd have shut everything down. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. That made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. And I will own the fact that we have not communicated effectively with you guys. I'll own that. And I'm glad you brought that to our attention, Lucy, because I'd been suspecting that, But the fact that I can hear the rumors and gossip are going, that's because we've not communicated appropriately here. We're not going to talk about specific people who were let go because that wouldn't be fair. I wouldn't want anybody talking about you or about me if we were in a tough situation, but we will talk overall picture and we'll be more open and transparent moving forward because you guys are owed that and you deserve that. And that's a ball that we dropped unintentionally along the way.
I think that would be very helpful. So at least we know, what's the reality, what's the situation, what to
Yeah.
expect.
Yeah. And Lucy, I'm going to count on you. If there's other things you feel like I'm missing or I'm not doing or should be doing, I'd love it if you just tell me. I may not always be able to do what you suggest, but I do want to hear it because that's how we make each other better. And if I see things in your world that I feel like could be tweaked a little bit, I'm going to let you know that as well, because both of our successes depend upon each other. And I want to make sure that we're both getting through this in the best possible way.
Got it. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you. I'll think about it, and if anything else, I'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Scott.
Awesome. Wow, what a productive conversation. Scott, you'll find
that's
that
a hard
Lucy...
conversation, though, Chris. That's really hard. But hard conversations make us better at the end of the day.
Yeah. You'll find that, I think you found this, that Lucy is a very nice person.
Yeah, she wasn't as difficult as she could have been, probably.
Right. I don't know if she's had a lot of people yell at her before.
Not for long.
Yeah. I've been yelled at a lot. And Chris, I officiate volleyball today because I spent 20 years being yelled at as a police officer. And I had two brothers. Like, you can't hurt my feelings anymore. So just tell me what you think and we'll take it into advisement.
But I think you did great. For anybody watching, listening, I'd love for you to put in the comments, what did you notice that Scott did that sat really well? What did he do? What did he say? What was his body language like if you're watching? But what did he do? How did he say it that really helped the conversation be moving forward and productive? And then Lucy, from your point of view, because you were the recipient of all that, what did you notice?
So first of all, I was thinking, whom should I embody out of my clients or my clients' stories? And I went for the role of a little bit of more of the quieter side. That maybe they don't get aggressive, but silently, there is a rumor going. There is quiet, maybe quitting, quiet, already looking for another job, and not trusting, not having the trust, being so disappointed and so hurt in a way. And I've seen it with clients that been going their companies through massive layoffs and waves of layoffs. And I was working with those that both were let go and they had 5 more months to stay, or those that were the ones still staying. And there was the hurt, the resentment, the loss of trust. And so I was feeling into that a little bit and kind of not being actively, because I'm still worried about the job. I don't want to be let go, but not really trusting. And so I was curious how that would land on me, what you were sharing.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, no, you can say whatever you want. But what made the difference? You, at least for me, from that role play and from that embodying that person who's really hurt, but maybe they're not going to share it up front because they don't have the trust. You stay calm. You admit it. You apologized. You took ownership for that part. And that felt almost like a relief and healing. That felt like a little bit opening. Okay, maybe I might trust this guy. Not fully yet. And that's why I didn't add any other comment at the end. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Didn't mean I'm totally still to be determined based on your future behavior. If I am gonna fully trust you and then maybe even share with him, guys, Scott really has our back. Right now I can say, maybe, I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. He said the right things. Let's see if he does the right things.
Exactly.
And that's valid. And I think that's important as a negotiator. If I made any promises to the person I'm talking to, which a lot of times it was, will you come talk to me when I come out? If I don't do that, that's on me. Like, I need to follow through with the things I said I was going to do. If I'm going to get a pizza into them because they're hungry, I need to make sure I do that, because that shows that I'm not just saying the right things, I'm doing the right things as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, and I tried to do this with you and Lucia, and I tell people all the time, take the things off the table at the beginning that are the most scary. Like, you're not being fired. I know we've laid off a lot of people, but you're not being fired. And whenever you bring somebody in, you can say that, hey, I'm so glad you came in and talked to me. Listen, you're not getting fired. I just want to take that off the table today. Because if we don't take that big rock off of their plate, that's what'll be in their brain the whole time. And they'll start interpreting, he's being really nice. Is it because I'm getting ready to be let go? Where if you take that off the table, you're not being fired, you're not being demoted. I want to have a discussion with you because I think we can both leave this discussion better than we came to it. That's why we're having this discussion. So we both want to leave this better than we came to this discussion. I think when you take that off the table in the beginning, you start lowering their stresses right away. Then you can get logic and reason in a lot quicker.
Absolutely. That was a great move, because before I even, had the chance to say anything, you kind of validated, okay, I don't have to be worried now.
Yeah. But
However,
you
in
push
that,
back appropriately and say, well, a lot of people were just let go that you said weren't going to be let go. So that's an appropriate pushback. Like, I should
yeah,
expect that. And I should expect people to be suspicious of me. And I should expect them to be scared of their jobs. Like, if I don't expect that, I'm just going to blow this whole meeting up. I have to say they have every right to be scared. They have every right to be angry. And if they want to yell at me, we can do that, right? We can vent some of that out.
makes sense. Yeah. And some people, the one that I embodied, they are not going to be yelling. They
Right.
probably might be the silent sufferers. They
Yes.
or will quietly behind your back say something or listen
Yeah.
to the
And the
stories.
tendency, unfortunately, in leadership today is to focus on the yellers, to focus on the people who are causing all the problems, when actually it's the people like Lucy embodied who are just quietly waiting for their opportunity to pull the ripcord and be out.
Yep.
Those are the people that will just silently call it quiet quitting. Like, I don't love that phrase, but that's what they'll do. And so when we spend all of our time focusing on these quote unquote problem people, we forget the vast majority of people are just tired and they're not even going to argue anymore, and they'll just
Nope.
be out. And we can keep those people a lot easier than we can keep the people who we're just never going to make happy.
Mm. True. What I also liked what you did at one point in the conversation, you said something, I don't remember the exact words, but how can we make our team stronger? So if there are any additional layoffs, we stand as a strong team.
Yeah.
That shifted something for me as I
Good.
was embodying this person.
Good.
There was a little bit hope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can play the victim and be the victim and wait to be picked off. Or we can rally and we can say, look what they're doing in the midst of our toughest time of the company. This team has come together. And that's our best
Yeah.
chance of surviving if there's another round, as we need to make ourselves indispensable. And that's hard to work into that conversation when you have every right to be upset and you're overworked now. And I'm asking you to do more.
True.
But I'm also saying I'm with you and we're going to do more together. We should be the number one pronoun that we use in meetings.
True. Yeah. And also, maybe it's not just about the having constant conversations and really doing the action,
Mm. Yeah.
having that meeting, not
Yeah.
just saying, yes, we'll have it,
Yep.
which can really complete, because if the trust was broken, it's going to take some conversations and some time to repair it.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris, what was your observation? Any other observation that you want to share?
It you know what it reminded me of actually is what you just said about the communication stuff. It reminded me of when I got laid off from my organization, and somebody on my team, the thing she was upset about losing me as a boss and like reorganizing and going to a different team, all that stuff. But what made her like really angry more than anything else was that the VP didn't say anything about it at all to the rest of
Mm.
the team. They didn't reference it. And she was very nice. Like, I'm not going to fault her that she was a bad person. The VP was very nice, very thoughtful in terms of the layoff process with me, at least. But she didn't say anything to the rest of the team. And like,
Ouch.
my employee was like so angry forever and ever. And she'll hate that VP forever. So
Mm,
unfortunate.
yeah.
Yeah, Scott, I thought that was great that you, when you said, what, I want to make sure that we're a greater team, blah, 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 we're stronger. I think it was like a very hope-filled statement and kind of showing like we can do this, we can be better,
Mm,
and we can make sure protect ourselves in the future. Um,
yeah.
you did one thing at the beginning. I don't know if anybody notices. I think people do this kind of a nervous habit. I don't know if you did this intentionally, but you said thank you for coming in. And
Yeah.
I, I think that like thanking somebody and the power of implying that they had a choice
Mhm.
is so powerful to make them not feel cornered, like they don't have a choice to be in in a conversation.
Mhm. Yeah. We've got to start lowering that emotion. You know, they come into their supervisor's office, they're under high emotion, even if it's a good day.
Yeah.
They get called into the office, then we've got to start lowering that emotion right away.
Yep. And I love that you did a lot of affirmations. You're a valuable employee. Not you do a good job, right? That's praise, but you are a valuable employee. You are worthy of respect and us doing things. And your reflections were great. Saying that's scary, just kind of acknowledging that those emotions are there. I love that you took accountability appropriately. You're
Mm,
like, you're right. I didn't communicate enough. We didn't talk about this enough. And you didn't blame any of the senior leaders. I think that's an issue that a lot of middle managers get stuck in. Like,
mm,
it's not my fault. I didn't necessarily make this decision.
right.
And I want to blame the senior leaders, but I don't know how to. And you sidestepped that entirely. You didn't try to justify their decision-making process. You didn't try to talk about them in positive or negative. You just said, this is the situation.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't so. This is it. This is it.
Yeah. I think that gives power back to the team, right? If I just blame it on the people above me, which is the easy thing, then I have no power here, nor do they. And we're just stuck at there. But if I say we're going to fix this moving forward, the we as the team, that gives us some agency and some power to control this because I don't want powerlessness on my team. I don't want us sitting in fear waiting for the next cut to come down that Scott can't do anything about.
Mhm.
If I'm the leader, then I need to lead through these difficult times.
Would it have been any different if you were the top boss? You were the CEO, you're the executive director, you were the one making those decisions. How would you have phrased would you have phrased anything differently?
I don't know that it would have changed much. I think I would have just pressed in, hey, I don't want to close this company down because I believe in what we're doing, but I can't keep everybody in the state we were in. And so I have to cut some people in order to keep this thing moving forward so that we can help as many people as possible. Whatever company we're in, we're helping people. I don't care if you're selling or whatever, like you're helping people. And we do the world a disservice if we shut down. Would I like to have all those team members back? 100%. But the fact that I have half of you still here and we're still helping people tells me we can push through this and we can fix this. So I don't think
Mhm.
it changes much if I'm the one that made the decision, because at the end of the day, the alternative when you're doing a layoff is to shut everything down. And that serves nobody. And
Yeah.
it's horrible to have to pick and choose who's on the team and who's not. But the alternative is just blowing the whole thing up. So I think
Mm.
when you kind of rally the troops that way to say, if we can push through this difficult time, a lot of people did it during COVID. Like we were shut, like 95% of my business income turned off like a faucet. It was
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
scary. Thankfully, I'm the only employee of my company. And so I just pushed through and buckled down and made things virtual and that kind of stuff. So that the alternative is I just give up. I don't help anybody anymore. And so I
Yep.
think you empower your team when you say, we're going to push through this and we're going to be stronger on the other side because we learned things in COVID we could never learn the any other way.
Yep. Scott, I love that. I love seeing you work. I love seeing a master at the craft and seeing how you phrased it. I think that was super helpful for a lot of the people listening, managing through these hard things because it's going to continue, right? All these
Yeah.
reduction in forces, reorganizations, layoffs, and just difficult conversations in
Yeah.
general.
Well, if it makes your listeners feel any better, I was a little bit nervous when we started the role play. Like we talked about this, like that's what we
Nice.
need in order to listen more clearly, focus more efficiently. We need that little bit of adrenaline.
Absolutely. So, Scott, let's imagine somebody skipped the first half of this episode last week.
Yeah.
They skipped this entire role play. They said, I'm just going to skip forward to this point in the podcast episode. What are 1 to 2 big takeaways that you would hope that everybody would walk away with?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is that silence can be used in the short term as a tactic. It can't be our default. Like, we can't just not discuss things and expect things to get better. We will never fix anything we can't openly talk about. And I think today, in a big picture world, that's why we are struggling with mental health issues and race relations and that kind of stuff, because we've decided those things we don't talk about in polite company. And I believe with everything in me, we have to have discussions in order to make people feel valued and to push through a difficult time. And so there's nothing we can't talk about in the workplace. And I don't care if it's somebody's at-home mental health struggles. The alternative is they don't feel loved at work either, and home's a hot mess, and they start checking out altogether. So there's nothing we can't talk about. We have employee assistance programs for things like that. We can refer people to that. We've got to make everything an open topic for discussion.
Yeah, love that. As someone who's worked with problem sexual behaviors, that's where I got my start in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so many hot topics that people don't talk about. Sex, death,
Yeah.
that we should be talking about from a young age openly.
Yeah. And it's because we're afraid of offending, right? But when it's somebody's normal, you're not offending them. You just ask about it because it's something they deal with every day. When the George Floyd Ahmaud Arbery days, I sought out my Black friends and scheduled coffee with them, went to one of their back porch, spent an hour, because I said, I've never been a Black man. And they said, well, I've never been a police officer. Let's ask each other questions. And we both left those conversations so much better than we came to them. I'll never understand what it's like to be them. But I loved them enough to sit down and say, help me see through your eyes. And they got to see through my eyes. And we can do that with whatever topic it is. Somebody's dealing with something at home. Let's talk about this. Let's have this conversation. If I can do anything to help, I want to do that. I've never been in that situation, but I want to understand it a little bit better from your eyes. And when you start humanizing problems, then it's a lot easier to solve them. But when we avoid those conversations, that person feels unvalued and unloved. And when we press in and ask about those conversations, one of my favorite ones about this is a death in a family. A lot of times we look at those people and we don't say anything. We just kind of go,
Ouch.
and we deep sigh and look at them. They want to hear stories about that family member. They want to hear the time they made you laugh. They want to hear the thing they did at work, especially if it was a team member that passed. The family wants their stories. That's how they stay alive. And it's not weird for them to hear them. What's weird is to hear nothing because we're so afraid of hurting them. And so we actually hurt them by not having the conversation more than we would hurt them by sharing openly about what their lived experience is.
As some would say, silence kills.
That's the rumor.
And courage can save lives and improve lives.
Yes, absolutely.
And organizations.
Yep.
Scott, how can the people find you if they want to learn more, if they want to talk to you, if they want to just have a chat with you?
Yeah, speakingofharvey.com is the website. I'm all over socials as well, and those are linked on my website as well. There's a Contact Scott button on there. My services are all laid out on there. I'm doing less speaking today and more consulting because companies are like, hey, an hour keynote is great, but we want like an annual relationship with you so that you can be the high level communication person and sit in our meetings and that kind of stuff, because I genuinely want to empower people to have better open and honest communication, because that's our best chance at being successful.
Love that. Awesome. Lucy, how can the people find you? What you got going on?
Best is on my website, mindfitter.com. Link in the show notes. And what I'm currently working on is I'm launching Pod for Positive Intelligence program, which is mental fitness training for 8 weeks, where we really built in a community the mental fitness muscle. So you can have the courageous conversations. You can feel the fear, but do it anyway.
Yes.
And with the support of the community. What about you, Chris? What are you working on right now?
Well, I've got a cool thing coming up in the fall. You'll have to stay tuned to what that is, but I got a 5-day sprint for people looking to just get better at these hard conversations. They want to master it, and they want to just get away from just using scripts or just these cliche things. But really, how do you dig in and have these kind of hard conversations in all these different domains? So I got something going on. So just stay tuned for that.
Sounds
Scott,
exciting.
thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Scott.
Hey, party people. Thanks for joining us. All that stuff will be linked. All the stuff to Scott, his book, everything will be linked into the show notes below. Please stay tuned for next week. We're looking forward to having you. We have another amazing guest with some role plays, and we're looking forward to sharing everything with you. So see you next week.